Hey, what's up guys? Skills WG here and welcome back to another Brawlhalla video. Today, guys, we are going to go over the best legend for each weapon in Brawlhalla. And I did this video over a year ago. A very similar video a year ago. And a lot has changed in a year. There are many different balance patches, signature changes, all this stuff. So there's probably some new and maybe the same legends that are the best weapon for each other. Now let's go over right at the beginning. This is my opinion. This is based on pretty much only my opinion about what I've gone through throughout the games. I have 5,000 hours in this game. I've seen many people play different ways, and so it's only based on my opinion. You guys in the comments below after you watch this video, go down, put your opinion of what your favorite character or what do you think is the best character for each weapon in Brawlhalla. And don't forget, if you do enjoy the video, hit the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this and a lot of ranked gameplay that I play, and I'm diamond, so maybe you want to watch that. All right, let's get right into the video. All right, guys, so we're gonna start off strong. We're gonna start off with sword. Sword, it was one of the first weapons in the game, a very basic weapon, but it's still very good. It looks like pretty good skin. So who has sword? We have Bodvar, Hattori, there's actually quite a few legends in this game with sword. I think they have all weapons combos except for orb right now. I think so. That's actually the most weapon combos in the game. And who has the best? Now this is kind of a toss up. There's a few characters I think have the best. So we're gonna start off with Hattori. Hattori has semi-solid sigs, not the best sigs, but not the worst sigs. But her speed and dex make her sword kind of scary at times. That is what makes it sword, but that's not the only thing that makes a sword. I think Koji, another high dex, high speed, has a very good sword. Signatures are still okay, nothing great, but there's actually another one that I'm going to pair this up with the top 3 sword legends in the game, and that's actually Jaehyun. Jaehyun came out recently, a few months ago, and sword, talking about sword only, this is the most well-rounded sword. I had a brain fart. A most well-rounded sword stats in the game. Not in the game, but for the top 3. Signatures came out are all very good. Neutral sig's very good. Side sig's good. Down sig's okay. Can be used very situational, but are all very good. These are the top 3. My 3 choices, because sword, I don't really see a clear-cut winner for sword myself, but I do like having that extra speed, and dex isn't really that necessary, but I feel like Koji's just overall ability is pretty good. But Hattori is always quite high up there when it comes to that sword gameplay, and Azuri is even kind of up there too when it comes to that. She's very fast. It has some good sigs, but I think she's more well known for her katars. In the comments, who do you think? While you're putting up your your favorite, your best legends, what do you think of the top 3 here? Is the best sword legend? I'm gonna probably have to give it up to Hattori, actually. Hattori is very fast, very good sigs, just throws it up. We're gonna say Hattori is one of the best sword legends in the game. So Hattori's speed and dex just make sword a very good weapon, because like we said before, the sword is already a good, like a well-rounded weapon, but having the ability to use that well-roundedness and move quick around is just really good. And her sigs pretty good. A good spiking sig, a good bait sig that does down sig, backs off, and psychs it pretty quick. Nothing too fancy with the side sig, but it's just a simple side sig that actually hits them the opposite way, which is also like another thing that Scarlet had. Well, actually a lot of legends have that just hit them the other way, and always a great thing to have, especially if you're gonna do an offstage attack. All right, next up we have Hammer. Hammer is a very hard hitting weapon that we have quite a few of, actually. Not as much as sword, but we have quite a few. But who is the best hammer? I think last time I picked Cassidy. Cassidy still has one of the top hammers in the game, honestly. The side sig and neutral sig are just so good for Cassidy's ability. She's just a little slow when it comes to speed, which isn't too bad, but I don't know if she's the best hammer in the game now. I think Scarlet has had some big buffs with her hammer signatures since the last patch. I think she might take the top, and if not, there's Yumiko. Well, there's a little bit different. Yumiko has such fast speed and dex that her hammer feels a lot faster than others. So if you get a good player that's more aggressive with hammer, Yumiko might be the play. She is a lot less damage and lower defense, but with all that speed and ability to move around, I've seen a lot of people play some great, crazy Yumiko plays. But overall, rounded, I'm gonna say Scarlet. Scarlet hammer sigs just kind of are huge. The down sig is a great way to throw people off the stage from where you're at. Get this hide sig's really big. Neutral sig hits very good. She's very hard hitting. As you see, the strength is humongous. And like I said, the same with the speed. Not very fast, but you don't need to be fast when you're bopping people all over the place. So Scarlet is the best hammer legend in the game. So Scarlet's hammer being the best sig. Look at these sigs. Great sig, but look how this happens off stage. This actually currently hits all the way down there. All that smoke there on the right, can't really see because my dumb face, is a hitbox. All that right there is a hitbox to hit the other player. That is kind of crazy for edge guarding potential for anyone. Down sig to throw them the opposite way. So if you're going like this, look at that kind of sig right there. She just has a really good vibe. Oh my goodness, another sig. Look at that, just crazy. Good well-rounded signatures to go along with a pretty good kit, and hits very hard, especially using hammer itself. So hammer is Scarlet. All right, next up we have blasters. Now blasters is my most played weapon, and so based on complete bias because of how much longer I played him and the feeling of the weapon, I'm gonna go with Lord Vrax. Is my personal favorite. Do I think he's the best? I'm not sure. I say this because of a lot of pro players do not play Lord Vrax. I do not see him very often in there. Personally, because of I've been playing a very aggressive, and the way I like to play blasters, Lord Vrax is my play. Who do I think is the best though? The actual best legend. It's gonna be a toss-up at this moment between Barraza and Diana. Now Barraza is probably up there because he has super high defense when it comes to actually both 1v1s and 2v2s, but with pretty good damage. His signatures on blasters are pretty good. Down sig's pretty good. Side sig's kind of not that good, but neutral sig is also pretty good. So Barraza's sigs are pretty good. Down sig is actually probably it's got really good hitboxing. You know, I can do a gravity cancel like that to hit people who are in the air or still ungrounded in the air. Good hitboxing for it, and just a well-rounded thing. So does neutral sig. A lot of buffs coming out of neutral sig. And just overall, it's not the fastest, but because it can take some hits, and dexterity doesn't matter as much as it did before. When I made the last video, dexterity had a little nerf. So Barraza's got a pretty huge gameplay buff since then. A lot more people are playing Barraza. Now Diana is also a very good pick because she's got okay sigs. When it comes a little bit different sigs when it comes to blasters, and her stats are very well rounded, and her bow is a very good weapon that comes because blasters are kind of like a far distance kind of attacker, right? While bow is a little bit closer. So her neutral sig is a very quick, fast neutral sig that hits off the ground, so people get hit that by a lot, which is pretty good. And the weird thing about down sig is also good because it hits those people who are, trying to go off stage, or back onto stage just like that. And then you have the side sig, which is a great move that hits from so far away that a lot of people don't see it coming. And because of that, you get a lot of kills, like so almost. Look at that. See, just some things like that are really, really nice to use. And because the stats are pretty average, there's no really downside to Diana's blasters. So blasters are Barraza and Diana. All right, we're gonna have Rocket Lance. Now Rocket Lance used to be Lord Vrax. Now Lord Vrax, because of the 9 decks, had a little more difference than the 8 or 9 decks, 8 decks. A little more difference than 7, 6, 5, and 4 decks. But now he doesn't. Now it's pretty much the same all the way around. And even if there is, it's so minuscule compared to before that there's no benefit of playing Lord Vrax versus other. Now he's a very good legend because he's quick with high decks, But is he the best? No. Today's best Rocket Lance legend is gonna be Scarlet or Artemis. So Artemis has the really good and a lot of speed to go along with the Sig. She has pretty average and good Sigs. Artemis had a huge Sig buff over the last little bit, so that is good. And also did Scarlet. Look at these Sigs. Like, these are some crazy hitbox Sigs. Side Sig is okay, like, it's very powerful, but when it comes to actual gameplay, the Sig is just an average Sig. But what makes a good Sig right there is this Sig is huge. This kit hits double jump players all the time. So you can easily hit something like this and then hit a person who has double jumped in the air to try to get away from you, and they're just dead. And you can do a turnaround like that, something like that. And then the down Sig, very hard to punish Sig. This is what makes Scarlet the best Lance legend in the game. Now the partner that goes with this is Artemis. The reason why Artemis is up there now is her Sigs had a buff. Neutral Sig is a little bit quicker, I believe. The biggest buff is side Sig. Used to be that side Sig, that whole, like, that was really close, but anything like further, like, used to be that when you hit only this circle right there was a hitbox. Now the whole thing is a hitbox. So right there, it starts a hitbox. So this whole time he's going forward is now a hitbox. So it's got such a much more variety range attack, and it's so quick, bounces back. Such a good Sig. Good Sig like that is pretty solid, nothing amazing, but the neutral Sig is also a very good Sig with very quick movement speed and the ability to get around quick. Makes her Rocket Lance scary as can be. All right, on to Spear. My opinion, the best Spear legend in the game is gonna have to go to Wushang, because Wushang it's just a fast, solid stat legend. You see him over here with high dex, which is always a good thing. Moves pretty quick, and the signatures are just so very good. The only one that is kind of questionable is the down Sig. So, and they're very easy to understand, right? Side Sig, very, very quick. Like one of the quickest Sigs in the game. Easy to punish, or easy to like hit, miss an attack, and then still come back and hit them. So you can go like that, or you can miss an attack and then have another attack right after because of the high dex. Also down Sig, which is the one that's kind of like iffy. It still has a very, as you can see right there, a very solid hitbox size, pretty quick, gets your body out of the way compared to like other Sigs. And then the neutral Sig also throws your body out of the spot, kind of has a good position to hit all over the place, and just in my opinion has such good Sigs on Spear and quick enough, hits a lot of spots. I don't know, just a big fan of Wushang Spear as being one of the best spears in the game. When it comes to Katars, there's only one legend I think that I see the most of for pro players playing Katars, and that is Azuri. One of the best Katar legends in the game. Do you see her stats? Fast dex and fast speed. On Katars, that's scary because one of the things Katars is already good at is moving quick. With high dex means you can just get punished for misses less often. You have the ability to move around a lot, and her Sigs are just very good. One of the biggest is the neutral Sig, a Sig that just spikes like crazy, as you can see right there, and it's used in a lot of spots, hits all over the place. Just a very good Sig, and these Sigs all just solid ones. You can use differently, it depends on where you're at. But as you can see, and especially the down Sig, a lot of people use that down Sig as the dodge in read and punishes like crazy. Neutral Sig, like so. It's just a solid pick when it comes to Katars, and one of the most used that you can find the pros using today. Honorable mention, Mako. I'm still not sure how her Katars are yet. They seem to be pretty good with the neutral Sig, and the Sigs just seem okay overall. And with Greatsword being kind of broken right now, I'm not sure how her Katars are, but let's mention her as one of the best up there, just based on what I feel coming in the future. All right, up next we have Axe. When it comes to Axe, I'm kind of not entirely sure who is the best. I feel like Brynn is probably the best overall. And we're going to stick with Brynn as being number 1. But I'm really close with Taros. Taros has had some major signature buffs. And because Taros already has the huge power, and the Sigs were with neutral Sig being as crazy, and down Sig being very good, it's so close to being Taros number 1. I might even go as far as putting Taros as number 1 and Brynn number 2. Because Taros had I'm going to stick with Taros. Taros is just crazy, in my opinion. Maybe not as much in the pros, but in my, like, seeing him be buffed recently, every time I go against a Axe Taros, dude, I get kind of nervous. His low dex doesn't matter as much anymore as it used to. It doesn't seem to be as much noticed. Down Sig like this just hits very, very good, as you can tell by me missing multiple times in a row. The power he has behind all of his hits. The side Sig has gotten such a good buff that it's harder to punish and a lot quicker to come out. And just good. And the neutral Sig, as you can tell, it still has a problem against the wall there, as you can tell. Hits just all over the place. Look at that. And that, even then, I watch even pros, diamonds, get bopped by a double neutral Sig by Taros. And that's just something that happens so quick. So currently, in the patch we're at right now, Taros is probably the number 1 Axe legend in the game right now. Best bow in the legend in the game has to go to Koji. Koji's signature kit and ability to have multiple different areas to go around just kind of blows all the other ones away. The other ones aren't that bad. I just feel like Koji's signature kit helps his bow all the time. So bow, neutral light, kind of out the angle, down light, side light to the air. What is missing? Straight up, right? Well, just neutral Sig. It's not that slow. It hits pretty quick. So if you can do all these angles just like this. And down Sig, one of the greatest down Sigs in the game, because you can get up to someone, watch them, or like dodge through their attack and then down Sig. I do that all the time. It's just so good. Side Sig is an okay move for like getting out of the way, but the rolling, it's just nothing. It's not as good as the other two. Oh my goodness. He's just got such a good bow kit. Really quick, and high dex means you're gonna get punished a little less. It's just so good in my opinion. One of my favorite bows to play with, and I think it's just the best. One of the most played for the pros too. All right, when it comes to gauntlets, who has the best gauntlets? Now, I'm kind of leaning between Val and the new legend Onyx. So Val has always been a very good pick when it comes to gauntlets. Her neutral Sig, nothing quick, nothing amazing. Side Sig is pretty solid in the back. The back we're throwing Shuriken, very good. All solid Sigs. Just Onyx just kind of points out to be number 1 for me right now. With the high defense Onyx has, the ability to get around, the signatures are hit hard when it comes to Onyx's Sigs, Gauntlet Sids. So you have the down Sig, just very good, hits them really hard, gravity canceled, very good. Just a very overall great Sig to use, nothing, like really quick. Side Sig and neutral Sig, kind of puts his body out of place, and the neutral Sig is a good for punishing EC like that. It's not that it has the best hitbox in the world, but once I said, they seem just a lot quicker than A does. So that's why I give it just a little bit of the edge over. And because of just just the ability, the defense that Onyx has, the ability to move around, I think he just gives it to Onyx just by a little bit. All right, now we're up to Scythe. Scythe is kind of, it's getting to me. These are a lot of good Scythe legends, but it's going to be between Artemis and the new legend Volkov. Artemis is the quick-paced signatures are very good when it comes to side Sig and neutral Sig. They're just quick, they're hitting good spots. Down Sig is a good back off me hit him tool. While Volkovs are a lot more different when it comes to more variety. Side Sig, you have the active input where you can go left or right, hit him backwards, hit him forward. Amazing to use off stage. Down Sig is a good, also get off me, signature. And neutral Sig, even though it's not quick, it hits all over the place and is a perfect dodge read. I'm going to say Volkov has become one of the top Scythe legends, but I'm going to still say Artemis, because of the easeability and usability of her signatures and her quick speed with Scythe, getting into the proper position you need to get those dodge reads. I'm gonna still say that Scythe is probably one of the, for sure, the best Scythe legend in the game. Look at these SIGs. Quick movement, perfect ability to backdash and kill somebody. Down SIG for off the edge, things like that. Get off me tool. And it's just very, very good because, like I said, the speed is going to help her out a lot. When it comes to canon, we're going back to Onyx again. All these other canon legends have okay signatures, but I think Onyx's signature kit and, like I said, those defense stats with just average other stats is going to make the canon. Canon's just scary, right? When it comes to it, the movement, the SIGs of, and it's not always about the SIGs. Actually, the more you play the game, you realize that you don't need as many SIGs when it comes to the character. But the SIGs are kind of what makes one character better over the other. The stats also, but not as much. So like the lower defense is not gonna, or lower dex on this person is not gonna matter as much. You got those same combos when it comes to what you need, right? And you're the only little bit of getting away. But what matters is the difference is the SIGs. So the SIG, look at this, is one of the craziest SIGs in the game. Such a good long range hit that just does so much damage, hits them so far. Neutral SIG, look at that. Look at this. Look how much big a hitbox that is for an anti-air attack. Humongous, easier to hit than Zal's, Sydra's, and Isaiah's. Are all. This is just so much better in all ways. And the down SIG, just to get off me kind of SIG. Also, it does pretty good. It's not as crazy as the other ones, but that one just kind of blows my mind how good that signature is when it comes to that. And then, like I said, the defense, having cannon be that fast with that much defense gives you that more livability and your ability to get more damage off on them. Now we're getting down to the last two weapons, Orb and the Greatsword. Orb is, these two are limited to the amount of legends we have right now. For Orb, we only have Dusk, Fate, Thor, Petra. And that is all we have. We have these four. So, out of these four, who is the best? Now, it's kind of a throw up. Blah. No, just kidding right here. We have, it's kind of all around. I don't think anyone has thought of Dusk as the best Orb legend. Fate has very good down SIG, neutral SIG, and side SIG's okay. Thor has a great neutral SIG. Down SIG's really kind of scary. Side SIG's only okay, not super usable. And then Petra has some pretty okay SIGs also. It's just kind of a throw up for me. I'm not sure which one's the best. If you're playing Orb, I always play Dust because Dust is my favorite. And I don't see too much of a difference between the SIGs. But what do I think is the best Orb only character? I'm probably going to have to give it to Fate, probably. Her SIGs are just, I think, a little bit better than Thor's when it comes to easier to hit. So we have neutral SIG, which is, like I said, it's a great hit when you actually get some good hits. It doesn't that's pretty quick, not hard to hit. We have down SIG, which has the active input of throwing them down and or up, which is always good. Like, you know, wherever you're way up here, you can shoot them straight up. And your side SIG also has some good active input too. But the active input on that is not as good. You almost always want to just do it off to the side because that does a lot more damage. And because of her speed, she's able to get around pretty good, and nothing too crazy. She's kind of average when it comes to like the gameplay. Nothing really wrong. And so having those extra input with those SIGs are just nice to have. Fate also has a little bit more attack than the other ones too, except for Petra. So she's able, well, that's pretty close. I mean, obviously, but she gets some good damage off with Orb being very, very quick. And last, but certainly not least, by far, we have the last two, the brand new Greatsword. Who is the best, Jae-yun or Mako? Whew. This is hard. I'm gonna give it to Jae-yun. I don't think that the SIGs, I think that the stats are better for Jae-yun for sure. An average stat, you don't really need a lot of dex when it comes to the character, so they're both kind of like okay. The speed with the way Greatsword is at this time of this video, it's really a very good weapon, and I don't think speed is super necessary to get into proper positioning for a Greatsword, because it hits kind of it has its own movement with it and such things like that. I think speed is not necessary, so having a little bit more defense is always a good thing. The stats are so similar, it's hard to say like because of this change here makes a difference. The signatures that are going to make the difference in the SIGs. And with the good thing about Mako though is that Mako does have a very good spike SIG, but at the same time Jaeyun has a very good neutral SIG, which not only punishes dodge ins, not only punishes a lot of other things that go up, it also is a very good attack off the edge of the top of the stage, right? If you get this person off the top of the stage, like maybe with a recovery, you can hit a neutral SIG, and that kills them pretty quick off the stage. I couldn't be able to do it there. See if we get her up off the stage. Nope, we're not gonna get it. Anyway, you get the mid-drill, and same with Mako. If you get a good spike, it's just based on positioning. There we go. Just hit him up in the stars like that. Side SIG. The good thing about Jaeyun here is that you see the side SIG does attack. Look at the range at that. It's just so far. Good thing is if you do a gravity canceled, you have a different type of signature that does like more of a wishy-washy thing. A little bit of leaves at the end there. Same with down SIG. Down SIG on the ground, a bunch of bricks come up. Gravity canceled, and it's like leaves in the air. So it can be used at different things. Look at that spike. So it's even got a good spike SIG for Jaeyun. So it's not like Mako has too much more than Jaeyun does, while Jaeyun does have a little bit more than Mako does. So that is my opinion on Greatsword's best legend right at this moment is Jaeyun. So there you have it, guys. My list of the best legends for each weapon in the game. I know a lot of people's list will be different, and that is okay. That is why we all have opinions, but I want you guys to know what my opinion is. And then I want you guys in the comments, like I said at the beginning, in the comments below, let me know your list. What is your list of the top legends for each weapon? You don't even need to do each weapon. Your favorite weapons. Who do you think is the favorite? You know what I mean? When it comes to it, you think sword is Sir Roland instead. You know, it very well could be. I'm just giving you a voice on what I feel. Watching pro tournaments, watching 5,000 hours of my gameplay. This is how I feel at this current time. In 2020. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said at the beginning, if you did like this video and you even made it this far, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.